For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On the morning of July 12, 1996, 37-year-old Jessica Phelps left her home in Estes Park, Colorado, to research abandoned cabins in Rocky Mountain National Park. She never arrived at her destination. Despite an extensive search involving local authorities and volunteers, Jessica vanished without a trace, leaving behind only her abandoned backpack. For 29 years, her family lived with agonizing uncertainty, clinging to the hope that one day they would learn her fate. Then, in the spring of 2025, a startling discovery was made deep within the park, a hand-drawn map hidden beneath the floorboards of a remote cabin. This is the complete investigation into what happened to Jessica Phelps. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now let's continue. Jessica Phelps, a vibrant and independent woman of 37, possessed an adventurous spirit and a passion for the past. A freelance writer, she specialized in historical pieces, often venturing into forgotten corners of Colorado to uncover untold stories. Abandoned homesteads and ghost towns held a particular fascination for her, each weathered structure whispering tales of lives once lived. Her latest project, a series on the forgotten settlements of Rocky Mountain National Park, had led her to a remote, dilapidated homestead nestled deep within the park's sprawling wilderness. Known simply as the Peterson Place, the homestead had been abandoned for decades, slowly succumbing to the relentless forces of nature. Jessica envisioned weaving a narrative around the Peterson family, piecing together their existence from the remnants they left behind. On a crisp September morning in 1996, Jessica set off for the Peterson Place. She'd meticulously packed her backpack, notebook, camera, a few protein bars, and a map marked with the homestead's obscure location. She informed her close friend, Megan Cobb, of her plans, detailing her intended route and estimated return time. Megan recalled Jessica's excitement, her eagerness to explore the secrets held within the weathered walls of the old homestead. That morning, Jessica seemed her usual self, full of life and anticipation. It was the last time Megan, or anyone else, would see her alive. Days passed, and when Jessica failed to return or contact Megan, concern turned into alarm. Megan immediately contacted the park rangers, reporting Jessica missing. A search party was quickly assembled, combing the rugged terrain surrounding the Peterson Place. The search area, vast and unforgiving, presented a formidable challenge. Dense forests, steep ravines, and unpredictable weather hampered the search efforts. After several days of relentless searching, a single, disheartening clue was discovered: Jessica's backpack, lying abandoned near a stream a few miles from the homestead. Its contents were undisturbed, offering no explanation for her disappearance. The discovery of the backpack only deepened the mystery, raising more questions than answers. The initial search efforts, involving ground teams, helicopters, and trained search dogs, yielded no further trace of Jessica. As days turned into weeks, hope began to dwindle. The search was officially suspended, leaving Jessica's family and friends in a state of agonizing uncertainty. Theories surrounding her disappearance abounded. Had she lost her way in the vast wilderness? Had she suffered an accident, fallen victim to the treacherous terrain? Or was something more sinister at play? The absence of any concrete evidence left a void, a chilling silence that echoed through the years, fueling speculation and unanswered questions. The case of Jessica Phelps, the writer who vanished into the Rocky Mountains, became a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden within the wilderness. The disappearance of Jessica Phelps triggered an immediate and extensive investigation by the Rocky Mountain National Park Rangers and the local county sheriff's department. The area surrounding the Peterson Place became the focal point of their efforts. Search teams meticulously combed the rugged terrain, retracing Jessica's intended route and expanding the search radius in ever-widening circles. Divers searched the nearby stream where her backpack was found, hoping to find any additional belongings or clues. The initial investigation focused on the possibility of an accident. The challenging terrain, coupled with the possibility of encountering wildlife, presented inherent risks to hikers. The theory that Jessica had simply lost her way and succumbed to the elements was also considered. However, the lack of any signs of a fall, struggle, or animal attack left investigators puzzled. As the initial search yielded no further clues, the possibility of foul play began to surface. Ranger David Miller, one of the lead investigators in the 1996 search, recalled the growing unease among the search team. The undisturbed nature of Jessica's backpack, coupled with the complete absence of any other personal belongings, raised red flags. Investigators interviewed Jessica's friends and family, meticulously piecing together her life, her routines, and any potential conflicts or threats she might have faced. The interviews, while revealing Jessica's adventurous spirit and independent nature, offered no immediate leads or suspects. The investigation also explored the possibility of Jessica encountering someone in the park who may have harmed her. However, the remoteness of the Peterson place and the limited number of visitors in that area made this a less likely scenario. The challenges faced by the investigators were numerous. The vastness of the park, the difficult terrain, and the rapidly changing weather conditions made the search and recovery efforts incredibly complex. The lack of witnesses and the absence of any forensic evidence further complicated the investigation. Forensic technology in 1996 was significantly less advanced than it is today, limiting the investigators' ability to analyze the limited evidence they had. As months passed without any significant breakthroughs, the investigation gradually slowed down. The case, while never officially closed, became what is known as a cold case, a file gathering dust in the archives of the sheriff's department. Jessica's family and friends, meanwhile, endured the agonizing uncertainty of not knowing what had happened to her. Megan Cobb, Jessica's closest confidant, spoke of the profound impact Jessica's disappearance had on her life. The unanswered questions, the endless possibilities, and the lack of closure created a deep wound that refused to heal. Jessica's parents, now elderly and frail, clung to the hope that one day they would learn the truth about their daughter's fate. Their grief was compounded by the frustration of the stalled investigation and the seeming impossibility of ever finding answers in the vast wilderness of the Rocky Mountains. The case of Jessica Phelps remained a chilling mystery, a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities of life and the enduring power of hope in the face of overwhelming uncertainty. The years following Jessica Phelps's disappearance stretched into decades, each passing season a stark reminder of the void left in the lives of those who loved her. For Megan Cobb, the memory of her last conversation with Jessica remained vivid, a constant echo in her mind. The shared laughter, the excitement in Jessica's voice about her upcoming trip to the Peterson place, these memories were both a comfort and a source of profound sadness. Megan spoke of the birthdays and holidays marked by Jessica's absence, the milestones celebrated with a bittersweet mix of joy and sorrow. The family gatherings felt incomplete, a constant reminder of the empty chair at the table. The case, while officially cold, was never truly forgotten. Periodically, the local sheriff's department would review the file, hoping that new technology or a fresh perspective might shed light on the mystery. Advances in DNA analysis, forensic mapping, and ground-penetrating radar offered glimpses of hope, but none yielded any significant breakthroughs in Jessica's case. The vastness of Rocky Mountain National Park, with its countless hidden crevices and dense forests, made the search for any trace of Jessica akin to finding a needle in a haystack. Each renewed effort, while fueled by the best intentions, ultimately ended in frustration, leaving the family with a renewed sense of despair. Jessica's case, though unresolved, remained in the public consciousness. Local newspapers periodically ran articles about the anniversary of her disappearance, keeping her story alive and reminding the community of the unsolved mystery. Megan and other friends maintained a Facebook page dedicated to Jessica, sharing memories and updates on the case. They hoped that by keeping Jessica's name and story in the public eye, someone, somewhere, might come forward with information that could finally bring closure. The online community offered a space for shared grief, support, and unwavering hope. Despite the passage of time, the pain of Jessica's disappearance remained palpable. The uncertainty surrounding her fate gnawed at her loved ones, a constant source of anxiety and unanswered questions. Had she suffered? Was she still alive, somewhere out there, waiting to be found? The not knowing was a heavy burden to bear, a weight that grew heavier with each passing year. As time wore on, the hope of finding Jessica alive began to fade, replaced by a desperate desire for any kind of resolution, any answer that could finally bring peace to her family and friends. The silence surrounding her disappearance became a deafening roar, a testament to the enduring mystery that shrouded the fate of Jessica Phelps. The mountains, once a source of joy and inspiration for Jessica, now stood as silent witnesses to her vanishing, a chilling reminder of the unanswered questions that haunted those left behind. 29 years after Jessica Phelps vanished into the Rocky Mountains, a chance discovery rekindled the embers of hope in a case long gone cold. A hunter, seeking refuge from an unexpected early autumn snowstorm, stumbled upon the dilapidated Peterson Place. The weathered cabin, its windows boarded and roof partially collapsed, offered minimal protection from the elements, but it was better than nothing. As the hunter explored the decaying structure, hoping to find some dry firewood, he noticed a loose floorboard near the hearth. Prying it up, he discovered a small, tightly rolled piece of paper tucked away beneath. The paper, brittle with age and stained with moisture, unfolded to reveal a hand-drawn map. Crudely sketched, it depicted the area surrounding the Peterson Place, with a series of markings and a trail leading away from the homestead. The hunter, initially dismissing it as an old relic left behind by previous occupants, noticed a small, faded inscription in the corner. 3 words, scrawled in what appeared to be pencil, sent a chill down his spine. "He's following me." The chilling message, coupled with the map's hidden location, instantly transformed the seemingly insignificant piece of paper into a potential clue in the long-forgotten disappearance of Jessica Phelps. The hunter, recognizing the significance of his discovery, carefully placed the map in a protective plastic bag he carried and left the cabin. He immediately contacted the park rangers, relaying his discovery and the unsettling message on the map. The rangers, recognizing the potential connection to the cold case, responded quickly, retrieving the map from the hunter and securing the Peterson Place as a potential crime scene. The rediscovery of the map after nearly 3 decades sent ripples of shock and disbelief through the small community surrounding Rocky Mountain National Park. News of the discovery quickly spread, reaching Megan Cobb, who had never given up hope of finding answers about her friend's disappearance. Seeing the map and the chilling message, Megan was overwhelmed with a mix of emotions: hope, fear, and a renewed sense of determination. The words, "He's following me," resonated deeply, suggesting that Jessica had suspected foul play before she vanished. The map, hidden beneath the floorboards, seemed a desperate attempt to leave a clue, a silent cry for help from a woman in danger. The discovery of the map breathed new life into the investigation. The case of Jessica Phelps, once relegated to the archives, was thrust back into the spotlight, becoming a top priority for the local authorities. The hand-drawn map, with its cryptic message, offered a tantalizing glimpse into Jessica's final moments, suggesting a terrifying scenario that had gone unnoticed for nearly 30 years. The realization that Jessica may have been stalked, that she may have known she was in danger, shifted the focus of the investigation from a missing persons case to a potential homicide. The map, a silent testament to Jessica's bravery and resourcefulness, offered a glimmer of hope in the darkness, a chance to finally uncover the truth about what happened on that fateful day in 1996. Lieutenant Colin Vargas, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for cracking cold cases, was assigned to lead the newly reopened investigation into the disappearance of Jessica Phelps. The hand-drawn map, with its chilling message, provided a crucial starting point. Vargas and his team began by re-examining the original case files, meticulously reviewing every piece of evidence, every interview transcript, and every photograph from the 1996 investigation. The team revisited the Peterson Place, painstakingly searching the cabin and the surrounding area for any additional clues that might have been overlooked in the initial search. The passage of time had inevitably altered the landscape, but the team utilized modern forensic techniques, including ground-penetrating radar and aerial photography, to analyze the terrain and identify any areas of interest. Vargas focused intently on the map itself. He studied the markings, the trails, and the overall layout, attempting to decipher Jessica's intentions. He theorized that Jessica, sensing she was being followed, had created the map as a way to document her movements and potentially leave a breadcrumb trail for anyone who might come looking for her. The inscription, "He's following me," suggested a clear and present danger, a fear that had driven her to hide the map beneath the floorboards, hoping it would eventually be found. Vargas believed that Jessica's actions indicated a level of premeditation, a desperate attempt to communicate a message from beyond the grave. Megan Cobb, Jessica's closest friend, was contacted and interviewed again. The intervening years had done little to diminish the pain of Jessica's disappearance. Megan recalled Jessica's independent nature and her love for exploring the wilderness. She also revealed a detail that had not surfaced in the initial investigation: Jessica's troubled relationship with her ex-husband, Dylan Novak. Megan described Novak as controlling and possessive, even after their divorce. She recounted instances of Novak following Jessica, showing up unannounced at her home, and making harassing phone calls. Megan's testimony painted a picture of a man obsessed with his ex-wife, a man whose behavior had raised concerns among Jessica's friends. As Vargas and his team delved deeper into Dylan Novak's background, a shocking connection emerged. Novak, it turned out, had been one of the volunteers who participated in the initial search for Jessica in 1996. He had presented himself as a concerned friend, eager to help in any way he could. This revelation sent a chilling wave through the investigation. Novak's involvement in the search, previously seen as an act of community support, now took on a sinister new meaning. Had he been involved in Jessica's disappearance all along? Had he used his participation in the search as a way to cover his tracks and divert suspicion away from himself? The focus of the investigation shifted dramatically towards Dylan Novak. His seemingly altruistic actions in 1996 now appeared to be a calculated deception, a chilling example of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Vargas and his team began to meticulously piece together Novak's movements in the days leading up to and following Jessica's disappearance. They reviewed his alibi, his statements to the original investigators, and his interactions with other members of the search party. The more they learned, the more suspicious Novak became. The hunter's accidental discovery of the hidden map, coupled with Megan Cobb's testimony, had transformed Dylan Novak from a grieving ex-husband to the prime suspect in a decades-old cold case. The investigation, once stalled by a lack of leads, now had a clear direction, a path leading directly to the man who may have held the key to Jessica Phelps's fate for nearly 30 years. The interrogation of Dylan Novak began calmly, Lieutenant Vargas employing a soft, almost conversational tone. He reviewed the known facts of Jessica's disappearance, emphasizing the newly discovered map and its chilling message. Initially, Novak maintained his innocence, reiterating the statements he had given to investigators in 1996. He expressed shock and disbelief at the suggestion that he could have been involved in Jessica's disappearance, portraying himself as a grieving ex-husband who had simply wanted to help find her. As the interrogation progressed, Vargas began to introduce the mounting evidence against Novak. He pointed out inconsistencies in Novak's alibi, discrepancies between his statements then and now, and the suspicious nature of his involvement in the initial search. He highlighted Megan Cobb's testimony, detailing Novak's controlling behavior and his obsession with Jessica. With each piece of evidence presented, Novak's composure began to crumble. His denials became less forceful, his explanations more convoluted. The pressure of the interrogation, the weight of the evidence, and the realization that his carefully constructed facade was collapsing began to take its toll. Vargas, a master of interrogation techniques, expertly navigated the psychological landscape, applying just the right amount of pressure at just the right moment. He presented the map, carefully preserved and protected, laying it on the table in front of Novak. He pointed to the inscription, "He's following me," and asked Novak directly, "Who was following Jessica, Dylan?" The question hung in the air, a heavy silence filling the interrogation room. Novak's eyes darted around the room, avoiding Vargas's gaze. He fidgeted nervously, his hands trembling. The carefully constructed mask of innocence he had worn for so long began to crack, revealing the fear and guilt that lay beneath. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Novak broke. His shoulders slumped, his head bowed, and in a low, almost inaudible voice, he confessed. The confession, captured on video and audio recording, was a chilling account of obsession, abduction, and ultimately, murder. Novak admitted to following Jessica to the Peterson place, driven by a jealous rage and a desperate need to control her. He confessed to confronting her, a confrontation that escalated into a violent struggle. He admitted to abducting Jessica, holding her captive in a remote cabin he owned deep within the park, a cabin unknown to the original investigators. He confessed to burying her body near the cabin, carefully concealing the grave to ensure it would never be found. He described how Jessica, in a desperate act of defiance and hope, had managed to create the map and hide it beneath the floorboards of the Peterson place during a brief moment when he had left her unattended. She had hoped, he said, that someone would eventually find it and uncover the truth. The confession sent shockwaves through the investigative team. The relief of finally having answers was tempered by the horrific nature of Novak's crimes. For Vargas, the confession was a bittersweet victory, a culmination of years of tireless work and unwavering dedication to bringing justice to Jessica Phelps and her family. The news of Novak's confession reached Megan Cobb and Jessica's family, bringing a mix of relief, grief, and a sense of closure that had been denied to them for nearly 3 decades. The knowledge that Jessica had fought back, that she had left a clue, a desperate message from beyond the grave, brought a measure of solace amidst the overwhelming sadness. Dylan Novak's arrest marked the end of a long and agonizing chapter, but it also signaled the beginning of a new phase, the process of healing and coming to terms with the truth of what happened to Jessica Phelps in the remote wilderness of the Rocky Mountains. With Dylan Novak's confession, the focus shifted to locating Jessica's remains and bringing closure to her family. Dr. Catherine Lewis, a renowned forensic anthropologist specializing in the recovery of human remains in challenging environments, was brought in to assist the investigation. Using the information provided by Novak, combined with advanced ground-penetrating radar technology and aerial surveys, Dr. Lewis and her team identified a potential burial site near Novak's remote cabin. The terrain was rugged and heavily wooded, requiring painstaking excavation efforts. After several days of meticulous searching, the team located a shallow grave, carefully concealed beneath a thick layer of leaves and debris. The remains, though significantly decomposed, were recovered and transported to the forensic laboratory for analysis. Dr. Lewis and her team worked tirelessly to identify the remains. Dental records, combined with DNA analysis, confirmed that the remains were indeed those of Jessica Phelps. The confirmation brought a mix of relief and profound sadness to Jessica's family and friends. While the discovery brought a painful finality to their long wait, it also provided a sense of closure, allowing them to finally lay Jessica to rest and begin the process of healing. A memorial service was held in Jessica's honor, a celebration of her life and a testament to the enduring love and support of her community. Megan Cobb delivered a moving eulogy, recalling Jessica's adventurous spirit, her passion for history, and her unwavering belief in the power of storytelling. The legal proceedings against Dylan Novak moved swiftly. Faced with overwhelming evidence, including his own confession, Novak pleaded guilty to the charges of kidnapping and murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge, in his sentencing remarks, acknowledged the immense pain and suffering Novak had inflicted on Jessica's family and friends, highlighting the callous and calculated nature of his crimes. He also commended Jessica's bravery and resourcefulness in leaving behind the map, a crucial piece of evidence that ultimately led to Novak's capture and conviction. The case of Jessica Phelps had a profound impact on the community surrounding Rocky Mountain National Park. It served as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities of life, even in seemingly idyllic settings. It also highlighted the importance of vigilance, awareness, and the need to take seriously any reports of stalking or harassment. The case also renewed focus on the importance of solving cold cases, demonstrating that even decades-old mysteries can be solved with persistence, dedication, and the application of modern forensic techniques. Law enforcement agencies across the country began to re-examine their own cold case files, inspired by the successful resolution of the Jessica Phelps case. The legacy of Jessica Phelps extends beyond the tragic circumstances of her death. Her bravery in leaving behind the map, her silent cry for help from the wilderness, became a symbol of hope and resilience. Her story resonated with people across the country, inspiring renewed efforts to bring justice to victims of unsolved crimes and offering solace to families still searching for answers. Jessica's passion for history and her love for the Rocky Mountains will forever be intertwined with the tragic story of her disappearance. The Peterson Place, once a symbol of mystery and unanswered questions, now stands as a memorial to Jessica, a reminder of her adventurous spirit, her unwavering courage, and the enduring power of hope in the face of darkness. The mountains, silent witnesses to her final moments, now echo with the whispers of her name, a testament to a life tragically cut short but never forgotten.